As the war against corruption in Nigeria waxes stronger, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is calling on everybody to embrace the fight. The fight against corruption is not that of the EFCC and other anti-graft agencies alone. All hands must be on deck if Nigeria must succeed in its war against graft. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the program, The Eagle. My name is Aisha Gambari.
And I am Aisha Mohammed. Welcome to another exciting week of the program.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
On the program today, Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Ibrahim Magu, has called upon members of the Nigeria Union of Road Transport Workers to fully support the agency's anti-graft crusade, as the EFCC cannot win the fight alone.
Also on the program, the Director General of National Lottery Regulatory Commission (NLRC), Adolphus Joe Ekpe, has again reiterated his firm commitment to collaborate with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in tackling lottery scam and economic crimes in the country.
And President of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Ayuba Waba, has assured the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) of the union's unalloyed support in the fight against economic and financial crimes.
From our court updates, Justice Kwewumi Babs of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has convicted and sentenced one Abdul Hakim Dauda to 3 years imprisonment for credit card fraud.
We'll take another short break and the program continues shortly. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Augustine Alege and I'm the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. And I want to say that lawyers are all committed to defeating this scourge of corruption in Nigeria. And we're working hand in hand with the EFCC to ensure that we rid our nation of the scourge of corruption. All Nigerians should join hands in fighting corruption. Thank you and do your part any which way you can.
Welcome back. Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Ibrahim Magu, has called upon members of the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW) to fully support the agency's anti-graft crusade, as the EFCC cannot win the fight alone. Magu made the call when he received a delegation of the union led by its president Alhaji Najem Usman Yasin. Rolake Odofin Jolayemi has the details.
Magu, who received the delegation of the NURTW, led by its president Alhaji Najem Usman Yasin, at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja, emphasized the importance of a collective effort in executing the war against corruption. He said the EFCC cannot fight corruption alone and therefore needs assistance in the area of creating awareness in order for Nigerians to understand the effect of corruption on the society. He urged the union's leadership to assist the anti-graft agency by exposing corrupt members who are involved in shady deals, stressing that some corrupt individuals use public transportation for money laundering activities.
We need your support to educate the people to know the challenges, the evil in corruption, that corruption is really wrong. To that extent, I appreciate your coming here. I thank you and ask more support.
Yasin, who is also the Vice President of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), said they were impressed with the successes recorded by the Commission so far in its quest to win the anti-graft war in the country. He expressed the union's confidence in Magu, whose emergence as the acting EFCC chair, he said, was well-deserving going by his role during the early years of the Commission's evolution.
Since we are officially meeting you for the first time in this type of forum, the Union therefore wish to first and foremost congratulate you over your well-deserved appointment as the EFCC chairman. We believe that your choice is a recognition of the sacrifice and courage exhibited by you in handling some of the complex investigations during the foundational years of the agency, which aided the Commission to gain credibility, respect, and admiration. Indeed, your contribution in the areas of taming and checkmating corruption and crimes such as money laundering, embezzlement, diversion of funds, and fraud cannot be quantified or measured in monetary value, and we urge you to keep it up.
Yassin was accompanied by Chief Elijah Joe Uwomopo, the Deputy President, Comrade Clement Wedkor, the General Secretary, Alhaji Tajuddin Baruwa, Treasurer, Chief Odion Okiye, Member, Alhaji Mohammed Kiruwa, the Zone 6 Chairman, and Alhaji Kabiru Adoyeo, Deputy General Secretary. Also in the delegation were Alhaji Suleiman A. Musa, the HOD Mass Transit, Alhaji Tuka Mohammed, the HOD Cooperatives, Comrade Anthony Asogwa, the HOD Higher Education, and Mrs. Asabe Dagu, the HOD Finance. Still on collaborations, the Director General of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission, NLRC, Adolphus Joe Ekpe, has again reiterated his firm commitment to collaborate with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in tackling lottery scam and economic crimes in the country. He gave the hint during the maiden joint press briefing with the acting chairman, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, held at the EFCC's head office, Abuja. Ekpe said the synergy became imperative as both agencies are strategic to the success of the anti-corruption campaign, which is one of the cardinal focus of the present administration. The NLRC had on March 17, 2015, signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the EFCC on ways to effectively combat fraud in the lottery sector in Nigeria. Under the agreement, the Commission will make available its operatives with respect to enforcement of the National Lottery Act in the area of training, investigation, and prosecution, so as to have a joint team to clean up the system for the good of the country. The NLRC boss commended Magu for his efforts so far in ridding the country of corruption. He stated that the collaboration between the NLRC and the EFCC is aimed at training the staff of the NLRC in the area of investigation and prosecution of lottery crimes. He said that the briefing is to reaffirm the commitment of the two agencies in sanitizing the Lottery Commission to ensure accountability required by its act.
You may recall that the NLRC and the EFCC, I'll call the commissions because there are two commissions, on the 18th of August 2014, set up a joint committee with the mandate of identifying ways of sanitizing the lottery industry. Now, the efforts of the 6-man committee resulted in the signing of an MOU on the 17th of March 2015, and it was anchored on the need to cooperate and collaborate for effective implementation of what we call our respective mandate, and especially for me as the DG of the Lottery Commission, to effectively implement our mandate as contained in the Lottery Act. If you look at Section 7 of the Act, our mandate is clearly stated there.
He further thanked the EFCC for its support so far, especially in the area of training, and also urged the press to support the Commission's efforts by sensitizing the public on the fight against lottery crimes. Responding, Magu thanked the DG for his efforts so far in combating illegal lottery operation and assured him of the unwavering support of the Commission.
The importance of this gathering today is underscored by our common interest in the deployment of our country, Nigeria, through interagency synergy and cooperation between our agencies. The core mandate of the EFCC is the enforcement of all economics and financial crimes laws in Nigeria.
He further stated that the success of the fight against crime is dependent on the synergies of agencies such as this. In attendance were management members of NLRC and the EFCC. Rolake Odofin Jolaimi reporting for the Eagle.
Welcome back. President of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Ayuba Waba, has assured the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC of the union's unalloyed support in the fight against economic and financial crimes. Golden Ago is standing by with the report.
Waba, who led some members of the union to the EFCC headquarters in Abuja, stressed the importance of having a united front in confronting the monster called corruption. According to him, corruption is a monster that has done more harm to the country than any other thing, because it is the cause of the crisis in the various sectors of the country. While noting that the NLC had in the past shown support for the agency, Waba stressed that more than ever before, there was a need to renew such affiliation and unity, because corruption is now fighting back. Such a scenario, according to him, necessitated the need to re-energize the NLC's partnership with the EFCC, as a collective effort was now essential. While appreciating the union, the EFCC boss, Ibrahim Magu, assured the delegation that the agency was resolute in carrying out its mandate. He said the negative impact of corruption affects the whole country, including our children and the unborn generation, and so the Commission needs the support of all and sundry more than ever before. Corruption, he said, was fighting back as many of those being prosecuted for corrupt practices had the wealth to throw around. He, however, stressed the resolve of the Commission to remain steadfast in executing the war against corruption. Others on the Waba entourage were Comrade Benson Opa and Comrade Nuhu Toro. In another development, Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Mago, has stated that violators of the provisions of the Procurement Act risk 5 to 10 years imprisonment. Mago, who lamented the widespread procurement fraud in ministries, departments and agencies, further disclosed that civil servants found guilty under the Act might also face dismissal from service. Speaking during the EFCC Anti-Corruption Sensitization Program organized for the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Mago urged civil servants to familiarize themselves with the Procurement Act, adding that EFCC would not spare anyone found to be involved in fraud against the Nigerian people. The anti-graft czar, who expressed the readiness of the Commission to rid MDAs of all forms of fraudulent activities, added that the sudden rise in the number of petitions relating to the violations of the Public Procurement Act 2007 had led to the setting up of a procurement fraud unit within the Commission. He added that the EFCC was working in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation to weed out ghost workers. He said, so far the joint effort has uncovered about 40,000 ghost workers in the Federal Civil Service, which investigations so far revealed that the federal government has lost close to 1 billion naira. In his remark, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Engineer Abubakar Magaji, urged the civil servants to collectively fight the monster of corruption in public service, adding that the fight could not be fought by one person. According to him, corruption is generally responsible for the high level of illiteracy, poverty, and low level of infrastructural provision in the states of the Federation and the nation in general. He also commended the EFCC for initiating the program, which, according to him, would serve as a guide to all the staff of the ministry. In another development, Judge Ubo, the serial fraudster, who sensationally accused the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of diverting proceeds of recovered assets, has been convicted and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment by Justice S.E. Alade-Toyimbo of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, for his role in converting the property of the defunct Police Equipment Foundation to his own use. Ubo was arraigned by the EFCC on a 3-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust involving the sale of PEF vehicles. He allegedly abused his position as former head of Security and Communication Department, Police Equipment Foundation PEF, to convert the properties of the foundation to his personal use. He had pleaded not guilty, thus setting the stage for full trial, during which the prosecution called several witnesses to prove its case. Ubo claimed that the former National Coordinator, PEF, Kenny Martins, gave him some PEF vehicles to offset the debts owed him by the foundation. However, during cross-examination, he admitted that he did not have any evidence of transfer of ownership of the vehicles from PEF. In his words, and I quote, "I know the vehicles belong to PEF, but it was to offset the debt owed me. The Hilux pickup vans are 4 and not 5. With his conviction, Ubo, who runs a company called Panic Alert Security System, PASS, completes a double as a certified fraudster, having previously been convicted of wire fraud in the United States. He was prosecuted after U.S. law enforcement agents carried out a major raid on a credit card and bank fraud ring led by Ubo in Georgia in 1992. He came out of jail on January 16, 2001. 15 years after, he is back in jail. However, Justice Alade Toyimbo gave Ubo an option of 4 million naira as fine. Golden Ago, reporting for the Eagle.
Cheers! What is it?
Please, keep to yourself. Chivurabo, I got a telephone call.
Anytime I close my eyes,
yes,
I see dead people chasing me in my sleep.
My Jova Magadam.
Is it possible for someone to become restless just because of his past?
Nevertheless, unless you kill somebody dead, then the spirit will be haunted you. Was you all contractors?
I embezzled all the money for the roads that are now death traps, killing people every day. I approved the supplies of fake drugs on pipe-on water. I embezzled the money at the fear, chief.
You are supposed to fear a special man that the people of EFCC are chasing people who are doing to submit other people's money. EFCC, as soon as they are captured them, straight to prison.
Chief,
jail. Life are not just about acquire wealth, making money. When other people are getting die of hunger and neglect, careful. EFCC and watch.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
Now to court matters. The trial of the national spokesperson of the PDP, Olisa Metu, continues today before Justice Okon Agbang of the Federal High Court sitting in Maitama, Abuja. At the last hearing of the case, Metu failed in another calculated attempt to halt his ongoing trial. Kamali Gebi has the rest of the story.
In a new twist, counsel to the second defendant, Destra Investment Limited, Metu's company, Tochukwu Onwogbufo, SAN, informed the court that he had filed a preliminary objection challenging the jurisdiction of the court to entertain counts 1 and 2 of the charges preferred against his client by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. He insisted that proceedings in the trial be put on hold pending the hearing and determination of issues raised in the application dated April 13, 2016 and filed on April 14, 2016. Interestingly, Metu's counsel, Emeka Itiaba, SAN, aligned himself with Onwogbufo's submission. However, counsel to EFCC, Silvanus Tahir, objected vehemently to the motion, citing sections 396(2) and 221 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act as sufficient legal provisions to encourage continuation of trial. Tahir said, and I quote, "Objections such as the one issued cannot be taken or entertained during proceedings or trial on grounds of imperfection or error on the charge. Section 396(2) makes it clear that after the plea has been taken, the defendant may raise any objection to the validity of the charge, provided that such objection shall only be considered alongside substantive issues, and ruling on such objections delivered at the time of judgment of the matter." End of quote. In his ruling, Justice Abang refused Onwogbufo's application and held that the objection would be heard at the end of proceedings. Thereafter, the first defense witness was called to enter the witness box for further cross-examination, but Onwogbufo, who was apparently not satisfied, insisted that his application should be heard, even if ruling would eventually be made at the end of the trial. Apparently miffed by counsel's conduct, Justice Abang ordered the witness to be cross-examined. Cross-examination of the witness was eventually conducted and concluded after Itiaba intervened and pleaded on behalf of Onwogbufo. Metu is standing trial alongside his company, Destra Investment Limited, for allegedly receiving the sum of 400 million naira from the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired. Now to convictions. Justice Kwewumi Babs of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has convicted and sentenced one Abdul Hakim Dawood to 3 years imprisonment for credit card fraud. The convict was arraigned before the court on a 2-count charge bordering on possession and fraudulent use of credit card. He pleaded guilty to the charges and was subsequently convicted and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. Justice Babs sentenced him to 2 years imprisonment on count 1 with an option of 500,000 naira as fine. And on count 2, Dawood was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment with another option of 500,000 naira as fine. The sentences are to run concurrently with hard labor, while the fine shall be cumulative. Trouble began for Dawood when the EFCC received a petition from Radisson Blu Anchorage Hotel, Lagos, alleging that the convict made use of its services and paid all his bills with an unfunded credit card. Investigations were conducted and several incriminating documents were discovered in his hotel room. Findings showed that the purported credit card the convict used to pay his bills was actually issued to one Thomas Boyer, an American.
For me to buy correct photo, for me to take make my dough.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is The Eagle, coming to you from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. You too can be part of this program by leaving your comments on our social media portals at Official EFCC. Let's take some messages from those portals at this moment. Kozi Umar said, continue sanitizing the image of Nigeria, but let nobody be above the law. Let the wrath of the law fall on everybody found guilty. Another user, Khalid Ubana Al-Qasim, also sent in his contribution. He wrote, I support and salute the effort of the EFCC. And Adeleke Sharafuddin also wrote, God will help you succeed, Mr. Magu. And Mohammed Abdulhamid also joined the forum. And he said, forward ever, backward never. Continuity of your activities has brought back our national integrity. Up, Ibrahim Magu. Also from Botches Unwosu is this comment, and it reads, this is good news for all lovers of Nigeria. Evil can never overcome good. All wicked looters of our common patrimony must be prosecuted and jailed. And that's it on the feedback segment. Thank you very much for your comments. Please continue to contribute your quota to the fight against corruption in Nigeria.
EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
And on that note, we've come to the end of this week's edition of The Eagle. But before we go, here's a reminder of our major stories today. We brought you a report on the visit of the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Ayuba Waba, and his National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, counterpart, Alhaji Najim Usman Yasin, to the acting chairman of EFCC, Ibrahim Magu.
And Justice Kweyemi Babs of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has convicted and sentenced Abdul Hakim Dawood to 3 years imprisonment for credit card fraud.
That's it on the program. Please don't forget to drop your comments via our social media portal at Official EFCC across all the social media platforms. Or you can send a message to info@efccnigeria.org. My name is Aisha Gambari. Thank you for watching, and God bless Nigeria.
And I am Aisha Mohammed. See you same time next week for another edition of The Eagle. Have a good evening.